Good morning everyone, this is the BMW iX1 xDrive 30, all-wheel drive, 313 horsepower, 64 kilowatt hours can be used off this battery, and today we're going to do a 130 kilometers an hour range test, charging up to 100%, and then we go. You've seen my test with 110, so it's exact same procedure. Today it's colder, so that's why jacket, and I will need the heat. I'm on my way. I drive 133 on the speedometer, which is, according to GPS, 130. I'm in efficient mode. My climate is on 22 degrees, blowing 1, so it will heat up, but not too much. No seat heating, not necessary right now. Car tells me I have 312 kilometers of range right now. I'm already at 89% after driving 25 kilometers, but as always the first 10 kilometers are uphill and I have to accelerate up to 130 up the hill, so the consumption in the beginning is high. That's why it also shows 260 watt-hours per kilometer. It's going down. Yes, I can say right now 130, car is still quiet inside, very comfortable to drive. This is nice. I'm at 75% and drove 61 kilometers. That would mean 244 kilometers of full range. That is not a lot with a 64 kilowatt hour battery. I have the heat on, and yes, it's 7.5 degrees out, but it's not winter temperatures, and the heat is not doing anything strong. Seat heater on 1 right now. But you also have to think of the form of this car. It's still an SUV, not very streamlined to have low drag coefficient, so this makes sense. This is what you have to expect. And important with the range for me is always the range from 10 to 80%, because on a long distance trip you're not gonna charge to 100% and you're not gonna go under 10%, so this is important, and we'll see that all in the end in the numbers. So far the drive is fine, it's not too busy, only a few trucks on Sunday. It looks like it's gonna rain soon. It's gonna be bad for the consumption again. Yes, and my average speed is, when it's 30 minutes, it should tell me my average speed. Right now it's 128. Yeah, 128 is my average speed, which is amazing. I always try to have 127, and on my trip I have to turn around twice and then at the end drive into the charger, so the gas station, which also slows down my average speed. That's normal, so this is perfect right now. Average speed is still 128. I just switched over to 50%, drove 128 kilometers. That would mean 256 kilometers. So we increased our range by 12 kilometers, yes. And when we drove with 50%, 128, I was hoping the gasometer would also show 128, but it's showing 30 kilometers more, so I can't trust it too much. For an hour I drove that way and it didn't adjust. That's a bit sad. I always love a gasometer that takes the consumption that I have for... I'm okay with if I drive different for 5 minutes or 10, but after half an hour it should adjust to what I did in that half hour. That's a bit sad. Yeah. We're just driving back. This is gonna be a short range test here. Going in the direction of Munich, and then I will put the charger into the navigation, and I want to have at least 40 kilometers of margin because I don't trust this. And usually on the way back it's a bit less consumption, maybe 45 kilometers of margin, just to be sure. I'm at 25%, drove, it was 192 kilometers. I put the number up and I'm calculating right now. Also average speed, it was 191 kilometers at 1.5 hours. Also not gonna calculate it in my head right now. Way too much. It rained a tiny bit, so tiny bit. So all cool. I have 40 kilometers to go and I have 74 kilometers of range. When I turned around, I had 41 kilometers of range margin. So it's going down, and it tells me again I arrive with 0%. I doubt that. So not good. This is not good at all. I have 24%. I can drive 39 kilometers. That's weird. I arrived with 10%, drove 235.6 kilometers. Consumption was 235 watt-hours per kilometer. Google Maps tells me it's 234 kilometers, so 1 kilometer less than here, and that would mean a range of 260 kilometers at 130 kilometers an hour. I put all the data in here so you can see all the tire size, average speed, the temperature. It was from what temperature is it now? I can't even see right now because it gives me a warning that I have to charge. You get the first battery warning at 60 kilometers of range and then another one at 40 kilometers of range. So it's not so much with the state of charge. But I tried to do a charging test now. I have to check because there are 2 chargers here available, but I think both the screens are not working, and then it's hard to do that. And it's raining. Another thing it's hard to do. So I don't know yet. But that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.